feature the Cars. V-66 Superstar Show takes you back with the Cars to July 13th, 1985, and the concert that rocked the world, Live Aid. We talked to Ben Orr and Elliot Easton shortly afterwards about the concert.
Yeah, luckily we were pretty much, all of us were in the Boston area, except probably for Rick, who was in New York. And as soon as we heard that we were invited to do the Live Aid thing, we all just stopped what we were doing, you know, and made it back to Boston to do some quick rehearsal.
How much rehearsal time did you get in before the...
I think it was about 3 days. 3 days of fun and frolic.
And it really spanned most every generation of rock and roll. I mean, there were people there who performed at Woodstock.
Right, a lot of people.
Which was kind of interesting. I mean, you know, there was Santana and Crosby, Stills and Nash. Well, Stills and Nash and sort of Crosby.
It was just an amazing thing. It was an honor and a privilege to be asked to play for something like this. I hope at this point we have that all together, and maybe we can have another concert someday for Save the World, maybe, which would be nice.
It was pretty astounding. It was, I would venture to say, the greatest pop concert ever staged.
Isn't that an amazing shot? Whew. That one gives you a real feel for what it must have been like to play at that concert, and those guys were overwhelmed. The V-66 Superstar Show tonight featuring the Cars, and we gave you the answer to tonight's trivia question about a half hour ago. Were you paying attention? Let's see how closely. Which member of the Cars came up with the name of the band? Which one was saving the Cars for the perfect band? 931-1066. If you're the first person through with the correct answer, you get the greatest hits of the Cars. This is their new release. Everybody's talking about this album. There is an extra cut on here that's not on any of their other albums, and it's called Tonight She Comes. It's from their greatest hits, which just recently released, and we had the trivia question, and we did get a winner, and we will give you the answer to the trivia question a little bit later on. So stay where you are. I don't know. Is it getting late or what's going on here? We also have a winner in tonight's V-66 video battle. I have that information coming up too. But right now, let's close out the history of the Cars on V-66.
Shake It Up was released in 1981. Parts of the album were recorded at Synchro Sound here in Boston, and this was yet another Cars album to turn platinum. In 1982, Rick Ocasek, Greg Hawkes, and Ben Orr all began work on solo albums, and the public was treated to Rick Ocasek's beatitude that year. Also in 1982, Dave Robinson sat in on percussion for Boston's Ooh Ah Ah. After some time off and work individually, the Cars released their biggest album to date. On March 12, 1984, Heartbeat City went into the record stores and onto the airwaves. This album produced one hit after another, and their first video from the album, You Might Think, received critical acclaim and awards. By 1985, the Cars were one of the biggest names in the music industry, and they were invited to perform at the biggest concert in history, Live Aid. They performed for their largest audience ever, close to 2 billion people. Elliot Easton's solo LP, Change No Change, created a sensation with Wear and Down Like a Wheel. It was released on Elektra in 1985. The Cars' greatest hits album behind them and just released. The band is on a break right now. We all wonder how a band so quickly accomplished can top their feats to date. Rick Ocasek's songs made the band New Wave's fastest success, and it's said that his main influences include the Velvet Underground and Roxy Music. Every Cars album has sold more than 1 million copies.
This is the V-66 Superstar Show. Now tomorrow night we'll do Dire Straits. And
She's a lot like you, dangerous type. She's a lot like you, but you hold me tight. She's a lot like you, with a dangerous type. Alright, come on, hold me tight.
watching the V-66 Superstar record track for tonight's feature, The Cars. The Cars have 6 LPs to date, and their debut came out in 1978 on Elektra, simply called The Cars. This platinum LP produced 3 big hits for The Cars, with My Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, and Good Times Roll.
Let the good times roll. Let them knock you around.
In 1979, Candy-O was released and included 2 hits with Let's Go and It's All I Can Do. In 1980, Panorama was released on Elektra, including the hit Touch and Go. You're watching the V-66 Superstar record track, and tonight's feature, The Cars.
Remember playing that album until the grooves wore down, and over the years the Cars have retained their cool, polished sound. Tonight, though the garden was really only half full, the Cars put on a great show.
Right out tonight, she comes. She's taking a swipe, like fun. Gives me a reason. For setting my sights. Right out tonight, she comes.
If you like your rock and roll no-nonsense, the Cars are the band for you. Tonight, during the first hour of the show, the group delivered a tight, exuberant set without so much as a word to the audience. They've been criticized for their coolness live, but their set tonight was well-paced and flowed easily between edgy rhythm and elegant melody. Door to Door, the name of their first album in 3 years since the platinum Heartbeat City, has yielded this single, You Are the Girl.
You are the girl, you are the girl. Will you give me a twirl? You are the girl, you are the girl in my dreams.
Oh, this is really a first group effort at production. We had no outside producers. I guess Rick got production credits on the whole thing. It was wonderful. It was something totally new.
Guess I trust those that you take, yeah. Don't I look, does make me see.
I like this group, and I like them live. Yeah, they're sort of a nice, refreshing change from all the paraphernalia.
Yeah, well, Boston's one of the great groups.
Yes.
Yeah, Cars. I like
Cars,
Rick Ocasek. Thank you. That's it. That's our news tonight. Pia Zadora, where?
It's a midnight special.